I used to believe love was supposed to be safe, predictable, something chosen with logic rather than feeling. That was why I said yes when Daniel proposed. He was kind, stable, everything my family approved of. On paper, we were perfect. But my heart had never learned to read paper. Her name was Elena. We met when we were 16, two girls sharing secrets on a bedroom floor, whispering dreams into the dark like they might come true if we spoke them softly enough. She knew every version of me. The brave one, the broken one, the girl who laughed too loud when she was scared. She was my best friend, my constant, the one I called when the world felt heavy. I told myself what I felt for her was normal. Girls loved their best friends deeply, didn't they? The way my chest tightened when she smiled at me, the way her absence felt like grief, I buried it all under excuses. Even when I got engaged. The night I told Elena about Daniel, her smile was gentle but her eyes dimmed just a little. I noticed because I always noticed. We sat on her balcony, city lights flickering below, wine untouched between us. "I'm happy for you," she said, reaching for my hand. Her fingers lingered a second longer than necessary. My breath caught, just slightly. I should have pulled away. Instead, I squeezed back. The air shifted, quiet, charged. Her thumb brushed my knuckles, slow, almost absent-minded, yet my entire body reacted like it was a confession. Our faces were closer than usual, close enough that I could see the faint scar near her lip, the one I'd kissed better when we were kids after she fell off her bike. "Do you ever wonder," she asked softly, "what would have happened if we'd been braver?" My heart pounded so loudly I was sure she could hear it. I laughed nervously. "Braver how?" She didn't answer. She just looked at me the way she always had, like she already knew the truth I was too afraid to say. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just marrying the wrong man. I was running away from the woman who had owned my heart all along. After that night on the balcony, everything between Elena and me felt different, yet nothing officially changed. That was the cruelest part. We still texted every morning. Still met for coffee like it was routine. Still laughed too loud and hugged too long. But now, every touch carried weight. I started noticing things I'd ignored for years. The way her hand rested on my lower back when we walked, how she leaned in when she spoke as if the rest of the world didn't deserve to hear us. And the way she looked at me when she thought I wasn't paying attention, like she was memorizing me. Daniel noticed I was distant. I blamed wedding stress. He believed me, because he loved me in a way that never demanded depth. I hated myself for that thought, yet it was true. One rainy afternoon, Elena showed up at my apartment unannounced. Her hair was damp, curls escaping her scarf, eyes stormy and unsure. "Can I come in?" she asked. I nodded, stepping aside. The door closed behind her with a finality that made my chest tighten. We didn't talk at first. The silence was thick, uncomfortable, alive. She wandered to the window, arms crossed, then finally turned to me. "I've been trying to be normal," she said quietly. "But I can't." My pulse raced. "Elena. I love you," she whispered. Not rushed. Not dramatic. Just honest. The world tilted. I should have said something sensible. Something responsible. Instead, my voice broke. "I love you too." The confession hung between us, fragile and irreversible. She took a step closer. Then another. My back brushed the wall. Her hand lifted, hovering near my cheek, waiting, asking without words. I nodded. Her fingers touched my face, warm and trembling. She leaned in slowly, giving me time to stop her. I didn't. Our lips met in a soft, hesitant kiss, more breath than pressure. But it shattered something inside me. My hands found her waist automatically, like they had been waiting years for permission. When we pulled back, our foreheads rested together. This changes everything, I whispered. She smiled sadly. It already has. And as I stood there, tasting her on my lips, one truth became painfully clear. I could no longer pretend the line between friendship and love didn't exist. Because we had just crossed it. After that kiss, we didn't rush into anything. In fact, we did the opposite. We slowed down, as if afraid the truth might disappear if we moved too fast. But the truth stayed. Elena and I began spending time together in quieter ways. Long walks. Late-night talks. Shared silences that felt fuller than conversations ever had. Yet every moment was charged, humming with the knowledge of what we'd admitted. One evening, we lay on opposite ends of her couch, fingers brushing accidentally, then not accidentally at all. I turned toward her. She was already watching me. "Are you scared?" she asked softly. "Yes," I admitted. "But not of you." That was all it took. She moved closer, curling into my side like she'd done 1,000 times before, except now it felt different. Intentional. Her head rested on my shoulder. I kissed her hair, slow and tender, my lips lingering like they were afraid to leave. She tilted her face up. "Kiss me," she whispered. This time, the kiss wasn't hesitant. It was warm, unhurried, familiar in a way that made my chest ache. Our mouths moved together gently, learning each other in a language we'd somehow always known. Her hand slid into my hair, fingers threading through like she belonged there. When we pulled back, I was breathless. "I'm engaged," I said quietly, the words tasting wrong. Her expression softened, but she didn't pull away. "I know. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to be someone you regret," she replied. I held her face, thumb brushing her cheek. "You're the only thing that feels honest." That night, we fell asleep tangled together on the couch, fully clothed, hearts bare. Her breathing steadied before mine did. I stayed awake, listening, knowing that loving her felt like coming home. And also like standing on the edge of everything I was about to lose. Wedding invitations sat half addressed on my dining table, mocking me every time I walked past them. Daniel talked about venues and guest lists with a smile that felt borrowed. Like it belonged to a future I no longer recognized as mine. And every night, I thought about Elena. We tried to set boundaries. We promised no more kisses, no more sleeping beside each other, no more moments that blurred lines. Promises are easy to make when the person you love isn't standing in front of you. They're impossible when she is. One evening, I showed up at her place exhausted, eyes burning with unshed tears. She took one look at me and pulled me into her arms. I broke instantly. "I don't know who I'm supposed to be anymore," I whispered against her shoulder. She held me tighter. "You don't have to know tonight." We sat on the floor, backs against the couch, her fingers tracing slow circles on my wrist, grounding, soothing. I leaned my head against hers, breathing her in. "I tried to imagine my life without you," I confessed. It felt empty. She turned toward me, cupping my face gently. "Then stop imagining it." Her lips brushed mine, soft, familiar, devastating. I kissed her back like I was starving, like restraint had finally given up. The kiss deepened, still tender but filled with everything we'd been holding back. Her hand slid to my waist, mine found her neck. When we pulled apart, our foreheads rested together, breaths tangled. "I can't keep living a lie," I said. She searched my eyes. "Then don't." That night, lying beside her again, I realized something terrifying and freeing. The life I was pretending to want was slipping away. And for the first time, I wasn't sure I wanted to stop it. The next morning, I knew I couldn't wait any longer. Daniel deserved honesty. I deserved truth. And Elena deserved a love that wasn't hidden in shadows. I sat at my kitchen table, hands trembling over my coffee cup, heart hammering like a drum in a silent room. I called Daniel. The words tumbled out, awkward, raw, unpolished. I told him I couldn't marry him. That my heart belonged somewhere else. Somewhere he couldn't go. There was silence. Then a soft, almost disappointed sigh. "I wish you'd told me sooner," he said. "And then, I hope you find what you're looking for." I hung up, feeling the weight lift and crush me at the same time. Later, I went straight to Elena. She was waiting on her balcony, the same way she had that first night we spoke honestly. She looked at me, eyes wide, mouth half smiling, and I knew she had felt every tremor of my fear. "I did it," I whispered. "I ended it." Her arms opened immediately. I ran into them, collapsing against her, and she held me like she was never letting go. I felt her lips pressed to my hair, then my cheek, then my mouth. This kiss was different, bold, claiming, filled with relief and desire and the sheer happiness of finally being free. We pulled back just slightly, foreheads together, breaths mingling. "You're mine?" she asked. "I'm yours," I breathed. "And I'm yours," she said, smiling, and it was like the world had realigned itself around us. That night, we lay entwined, whispering promises, fingers tracing each other's curves, hearts synchronized. Every kiss was a vow. Every touch a confession. I no longer had to hide in shadows. I had chosen love. I had chosen Elena. And for the first time in my life, everything felt right. The next morning, sunlight spilled into Elena's apartment, warming the bed we hadn't left all night. I blinked awake to the soft sound of her breathing, the warmth of her body pressed against mine. I smiled, feeling a calm I hadn't known for years. This was real. This was us. She stirred and opened her eyes, smiling sleepily. "Morning," she murmured, pressing her lips to mine in a lazy, lingering kiss that made my knees weak. "Morning," I replied, nuzzling her neck. "I can't believe we're actually together." She laughed softly, a sound that wrapped around my heart like a familiar song. "We've been together for years, Minahil. Just, not officially." I rolled onto my side, tracing her cheek with a fingertip. "It feels right. Like I'm finally home." We spent the day in small, perfect moments, cooking breakfast together, laughing when she accidentally spilled coffee on the counter, stealing kisses between sips of tea. Every touch felt electric, yet safe. A love that was both thrilling and grounding. Later, we walked hand in hand through the city, fingers interlaced, hearts lighter than air. People passed, unaware of the storm of emotions we carried quietly in our smiles and glances. At a quiet park bench, she leaned against me, and I wrapped my arms around her. "You know," she whispered, tilting her head so her lips brushed my jaw, "I think this is how it was supposed to be all along. Me, you, us." I kissed her gently, lingering, letting the world fade. "I finally know what love feels like," I said. "And it's you, Elena. Always you." Her hands cupped my face. "Always," she agreed, before pulling me into a deep, slow kiss, full of promise, of passion, of the years we'd spent hiding our hearts now fully unleashed. As we walked back, the city buzzing around us, I realized I had left fear, expectation, and obligation behind. All that mattered now was her hand in mine, her lips on mine, and the quiet certainty that I had finally chosen the love that had always been mine. That night, the city outside Elena's window was quiet, the world slowing down just for us. We stayed in, tangled together on her bed, hearts racing, fingers tracing the outlines of a love long denied. She looked at me, eyes shining, lips slightly parted. "I've waited for this, for us, for you," she whispered. Her hand slid into mine, holding me like she never wanted to let go. I leaned in slowly, pressing my forehead to hers. "And I've waited too. Longer than I ever realized." Our first kiss that night was soft at first, curious, hesitant, but it quickly deepened, urgent yet tender. I felt her heartbeat against mine, warm and steady, and the world outside disappeared. Her hands roamed my back, my hair, my face, memorizing every curve, every line. My hands mirrored hers, cupping her, holding her, claiming her as mine in a way that words never could. We paused, breathing together, foreheads touching, smiles breaking through. "I love you," I murmured against her lips. "I love you more," she replied, and kissed me again, slow, lingering, full of promise. Every touch spoke volumes, no need for explanations. Every sigh, every laugh, every glance was a vow we had kept, finally spoken through our bodies. We fell asleep wrapped in each other, hands intertwined, hearts beating in the same rhythm, knowing that nothing could ever pull us apart. For the first time in my life, love wasn't complicated or scary. It was simple. It was home. And as I drifted off with her pressed against me, I realized I had left behind the safe, predictable life I thought I wanted. I had risked everything for love, the kind that burns bright, that shakes you to your core, that stays even when the world doesn't understand. Elena had always owned my heart. And now, finally, she had it completely. Forever began with us,